Hey folks, today's topic is writing tools, both techniques and tech, my favorite writing tools that get me excited about writing. I'm a technically minded person. I'm David Bourne, by the way. And so I just wanted to go over just a few of my favorite tools as I'm starting to get back in the mode of writing again. I'm excited. I'm hoping that I might give you some new ideas or spur some dialogue about some of the tools that you find helpful. So, jumping right into it, I want to talk about first the non-techie writing tools. Some of this is tech, some of this is technique. So, free writing, I'll call that a technique. That is a method of writing that is great for really for two things mainly. One thing is it just helps get stuff out of your head. Like if you've got thoughts that just are looping and keeping you occupied, free writing is a way to get those down on paper, and somehow miraculously that just helps you not think about it anymore because it's written down. Or it helps you think about it in a more orderly way. And it can help you give ideas, which is the second great thing about free writing. By the way, guided writing, I'm including in this. Guided writing is a type of writing. I got this terminology from kind of the queen of free writing. Her name is, I'm going to pull up a note by hitting two brackets. And her name is Julia Cameron. So I'm going to click, that just pulled up a note that I have on her. So Julia Cameron is an author who's written The Artist's Way, which is a really great book on creativity in general. She's a writer, but you can do any type of creative practice and learn a lot from Julia Cameron's work. So, free writing, something I do. She calls it morning pages, writing in the morning. I do that a lot. Now, where's my writing tools? Okay, back to this. Guided writing, by the way, is her way of having a kind of a asking the universe, asking her higher power to guide her and say, all right, I'm going to just kind of let go and see what, messages, what would be good for me right now. Yeah, it's a little woo-woo, but it's awesome. I think it works. You should try it. Check out her latest book where she talks about guided writing. Do I remember the name of that book? I don't, but I will let you know. All right, number 2, storyboard aloud is a technique where you take, hold on, where are my note cards? I'm going to pull them out of this thing So you take note cards, and I happen to have a little pack of them right here. You take note cards and a fat pen like a Sharpie, and you just start doing simple notes on a note card, individual thoughts, individual categories, whatever it is that you're working on. And the key is I usually set a timer. I'll be talking about those in a bit. Set a timer, pull out your note cards, pull out your big old fat Sharpie, and just start talking. This is the key. You start talking aloud, and you take these ideas and you start to storyboard them, meaning you start to organize them I usually try to do it on a big blank table or on the floor. And it's really important that you talk when you're doing this. Why? I don't know, but it just involves a different part of your body. It involves your mouth, your speaking brain. It's a way to kind of shake things up, especially if you're stuck. So storyboard aloud. And yes, I do have a video about that somewhere on my website. I'm not going to click that, but you can find that later in the show notes. Now, Trapper Keeper, you already saw this. What is this? Well, when I was in school, I didn't know what a Trapper Keeper was. That was like the few classes behind me. But basically, it's just a little pouch where you keep your stuff. What do I have in my Trapper Keeper? Well, I have an iPad mini, which this will come in later too. which has a pencil attached. I love this little iPad cover. As you saw, it's got my note cards. It's got 20 bucks in there. It's got a pair of glasses, because I can't read anymore without those. It's got a very important thing, which I'm going to talk about in a second. It's got some colored pencils. Anyway, what is it? It's just oh, it's got a notebook. That's pretty important. By the way, what notebook is this? People love their notebooks. I love mine turned. This is a Lecterm 1917, which is the brand. I don't know. I like the non-lined, just blank pages. This book's awesome. It gives you two, not just one, but two little book ribbons to keep your place, and it's got a little closure ribbon, and these fit just perfectly in this Write in the Rain. This is the brand of this little thing. I call it a pouch. It's my little create space on the go. If I don't want to grab my whole bag, I'll grab this thing. It's got an iPad, which I try to keep charged. It's got my note cards. It's got my glasses. And I hope you have something like that. The brand is Write in the Rain from Tacoma, Washington. Write as in R-I-T-E. Little play on words there. Because it's right in the rain, not R-I-G-H-T. R-I-T-E. Anyway, maybe the web page was taken, so they had to name it something else. All right. I love that thing. I also love this. My last non-techie tool that I'm going to be talking about. This, as you may know, is a Bic 4-color pen made in France. You got your red, you got your black, you got your green, and you got your blue. Why is that important? It's important to me because it helps me just break up the monotony of one color on a page. Why does that make me happy? I don't know. I don't need to know why it makes me happy, but it does. I love this thing. I've got a lot of these things all over the place. So having a writing utensil and I think real paper is important. That's why these notebooks are important. It's just important for me to have that. It gets me excited about writing, and that's super important. You want to stay excited about writing. Now, getting into the tech. I am a super techie person. I have always got my phone on me. As you've already seen, I've got a small iPad. I've got a bigger iPad. I've got my computer, which you're looking at the screen of that right now. And I love these Apple pencils. It just gets me excited about being creative in general, but also about writing. So one of the reasons I love writing digitally, because almost all of these next few things have to do with digital writing tools. I love having all my notes in one place, and I forgot where I put my phone because I'm recording on my phone, of course. But that's okay. So right now I'm using the Bear app. All right, B-E-A-R, bear.app. The Bear app is awesome because it's such a simple but functional writing tool. It will synchronize to the cloud via it's a iPhone only. Sorry, that's not true. It's a Mac only program, which is too bad because it's awesome. It should be available for the PC and for Android. It's not, but I love it because it just works so damn well. I've tried to use other apps, and I do use other apps, but I always keep coming back to Bear because it's just awesome. So kudos to those folks. I think they make it in, where do they make it? Ireland, I believe. So the Bear app is my number one app. My number two app is one called Obsidian. Let's see if I have it pulled up. Yes, I do. Where is it? Here it is. So Obsidian is more... It doesn't have to be more technical. but I tend to use it for more technical stuff because it's got lots of search functions. It's got lots of linking functions. It creates actual files on your hard drive that you can get to through your file system. I'm on a Mac, so that's the Finder. It doesn't keep them in its own little protective database like the Bear app does. That is one thing I don't love about the Bear app, is that it uses its own little database. Obsidian, on the other hand, which is what you're looking at here, Obsidian uses files on your computer. And those files they're just simple text files. Technically, they are Markdown files, which is something I'll talk about in a second. But it's just a simple file structure that Obsidian uses, and I really love that. So I bounce between Bear and Obsidian writing all the time. Google Docs is a great app. Why? Here we go. Poetry in Google Docs. Why would one want to write poetry in a Google Doc? Well, in a word, history. Here's my little Google Doc poem, by the way. In a word, history. I like to know what I did and when I did it. Make a change, see the change, be the change. When I write poetry, I like knowing that if I delete something, I'll be able to go back to it. Now, I write poetry mostly just anywhere. Yeah, it's probably better to have paper and a pen, preferably a Bic 4-color pen, of course. So, why Google Docs? Well, this is something I'm experimenting with. I'm experimenting with using Google Docs as a way to write poetry, because you can go back and look at the history. I mean, look at this. Like, if I want to go back and look at the very first thing I did, this is a little bit different. Went back, way back. It didn't exist, but you can go back and look at different versions. And here we go. Look at this. These are some changes I made here. Is this important to you? I don't know that it is, but knowing Google Docs can be a great thing when you're running a small business. It's a great way to share files with people. It's a great way you can actually make very basic web pages off of Google Docs. It's just a great thing to use, and I encourage you to use it so that you will learn how to use it. And that's one of the big messages that I would like folks to understand is, I know that some folks are afraid of tech. Some folks like me are just obsessed with it and get distracted by it. And we have to be careful because we tend to jump all over the place like I'm doing right now. But Google Docs, Obsidian, Bear, these 3 tools, they just make me feel more creative. They help me collect ideas and engage with ideas and remember ideas that I've totally forgot that I had, because you can use the search tools or the keyword tools or the linking tools that these writing apps have to connect you to previous thoughts or maybe notes you brought down from the web. By the way, bringing notes down from the web, that is my number one thing I do with Bear. It's such a great tool for gathering notes from podcasts, for example. I'll make a video about that later. So Google Docs for poetry or for any kind of writing, it's just another great tool to use. Markdown, I wanted to mention that. I love Markdown. Markdown is just an easy way to format and publish. For example, if I wanted to make a paragraph about Markdown, what I would do is I would hit the pound key and I would say Markdown is awesome. And that gives me a header. And I spelled awesome wrong. That's okay. So, why? Let me make that a subheader. So I'm going to add 2 little pound markers there. And then I add a dash. That's going to turn it into a bullet. This is what Markdown does, folks. Why Markdown? You can easily format stuff with just text. In other words, easily. Boy, I can't spell. easily. Of course, you're going to have help learning how to spell correctly with your tools. How can I explain this? I need to do another video on Markdown, but what it will do is create rich text or HTML for you just by doing simple things like you saw me do. You just, you want to do a header, you type either one number sign, the hashtag sign, or two, and you get different size headers. For example, if I want to do another one, I could do 4 headers, and this is going to be a smaller header. I don't think this is super important for your basic writing, but when you get into Bear or you get into Obsidian, they are natively using Markdown. That's why I included Markdown. I just want to say that at first it may seem like it's too much. I would just try to use it. Just ignore it if you don't want to use it. You can just use the regular tools. They're there as well. Like if you wanted to write, this is a word in bold, you can just highlight it and then do capital or do Command B, and it's going to bold that. So that's these tools will do the normal formatting as well. But Bear, Obsidian, and many other programs use Markdown. Google Docs does not. I wish it did. All right, this is getting a little long, but you know that I love the iPad. I love writing there. There's something you may not have thought of on the iPad, and that is handwriting. I do a lot of handwriting on the iPad because I have a way to click into a note. Let me show. I'm sorry you're not be able to see this, but this is a photograph that I use as a place to put notes. So I do a daily free write. I wish you could see this. And it changed color on me. Here we go. Let me do a big old fat pen. Well, that is fat. Why isn't that working? Okay, so this is a photograph that I am now drawing on top of, writing on top of. I do a lot of handwriting and quick writing, meaning I've got an idea and I just want to jot it down. It's a great way to involve other parts of your body instead of just your fingers. I think that's important to switch it up. All right, I love the iPad. What else? Lists and calendars. Why is that important? All right, I can't really show you. Maybe I can show you on my iPad. This video is getting a little long, folks. Let's see. All right, what if I tell my iPad, edit this video to ideas? And it didn't get it. All right, oh well. On my phone, this works all the time. I'll say, edit this video to ideas list. And I have a list. Where's my list? It's a to-do list. Here we go. Here's my grocery list. You know what I'm talking about, your lists. Your task lists. Where's my to-do list? There it is, my new ideas list. Nothing is in there. Well, let me add something. I'm going to add, edit, new video that is way too long. Edit new video. Now, on my phone, what I can do is I just hit the Siri button and say, hey Siri, edit new video to ideas list. And it'll be there for me. So it's a quick way to jot down ideas. Calendars are important because you need to remember how important it is to put writing and creative time in your calendar. Put it on there like it's a meeting with yourself. Because if you don't make time, you're not going to do it. The reason I'm making this video is because I made time. I put it on the calendar to make a video. And so I sat down. I knew that was on the calendar. And so I put some very loose ideas down, as you can tell, nothing too organized, unfortunately. But I wrote down this outline in Bear, and actually did it on my phone, and now it's showing up on my computer, so that's good. And so that was on the calendar. So use those calendars to help you stay creative. Use your lists, use your digital tools. And finally, timers. I wish I'd set a timer for this because it's way longer than I meant it to be. But set timers, and that's a great way. It's a great way to kind of trick yourself into writing if you're feeling the resistance. That very strong force that can stop you from moving forward and progressing in your personal growth, because it tells you things that, although they're generally not true, they generally work. Meaning, this video is not going to be any good. Why are you making a video about this? It's going way too long. See, that's the resistance talking. Who cares? Who cares? But a timer would say, you know what? I don't have to write all day long. I only have to write for 10 minutes. And if you're resisting writing, putting a timer down for 10 minutes where you say, all right, I'm just going to write for 10 minutes. I'm not going to write for the rest of my life, or I'm not going to write all day. I'm not going to sit down for an hour. I'm just going to sit down for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That can be super helpful to just get you going in those little turtle steps, those little small steps towards your goals. And I'm going to leave it there. This video is long enough. I hope you've learned something about some non-techie writing tools, some tech writing tools. I am David Bourne. You can learn more at davidbourne.com. Thanks for watching. I'll have links to all the relative apps and details on my website. I'll provide the link to the page in the show notes. So cheers. Bye.